Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cherry Cheeks, and anybody who knows me knows how much I love to talk about burlesque. As much as I can, I love to just give information to individuals. Last time I talked about resources, I was talking about biographies, the DVD documentaries, all of these physical copies of things that you can watch or read to learn more about burlesque and burlesque history. And so today I'm going to be adding onto that resource list that I created before. You can find the video link to my previous video, which was talking about DVDs and books and documentaries, down in the description below, and also there'll be a link in one of these areas. Burlesque history is so important, and not only talking about burlesque history in the sense of the past and what has happened and where we've been, but also where we are today and where we're going and the history that we're currently writing. And we have so many people who are building on that. I just want to share some of those today to help you find out some of the really useful information that we have to expand your own burlesque. As I go through all of these videos, I will have all of the links to all of the channels and the websites down below so you can find them more easily on your own. Starting things off, I'm going to start off with a big website that a lot of performers know about, 21st Century Burlesque. This is a huge resource of burlesque. It has a ton of blog posts from personal insights and perspectives from a ton of burlesque performers all across the globe who contribute to this magazine and who also give different opinions on things like producing and performing, and you get history like things on the fan dance or pasties, performers that we know about today. And it's super cool to see all the different interviews that happen on there and also read a lot of the different perspectives that performers have, and it really showcases how diverse our scene is and how there's not just one opinion for anything. You can have one topic like money and payment and you'll see hundreds of different perspectives on it. They host the Burlesque Top 50 every year. The Burlesque Top 50 is the 50 most influential burlesque performers and non-performers of that year who have been voted in by the community. That list is great because you get to see some of the big names and you get to see who different people are, but at the same time it's always rotating because it is voted in by performers like me and like you. Really, who's been doing what in the last year and who has been really influential and why. Especially during this pandemic, there have been so many performers who have stepped up even more than they already were, creating more opportunities and making sure people are still having shows online and making sure that all of these different things are connecting. And so I really love the Burlesque Top 50. I love to see what people have been doing, and I love seeing people getting recognized for the hard work that they do. There is also a phenomenal website hosted by Joe Weldon, which is Burlesque Daily. You may recognize Joe Weldon from my previous resource video talking about the Burlesque Handbook. She has been in the industry for a long time and she has so much knowledge to share and so many really interesting perspectives. Joe Weldon's blog focuses on a whole diverse range of things such as tutorials, how to connect with your inner diva, how to seduce the audience, history of burlesque, even some just blog posts that are just about things that she's discovered recently. She's also a historian and has been reconnecting a lot of dots with our history and sharing what she knows. Her website's also really cool to find a lot of tutorials. Now you can know by going to Joe Weldon's blog, Daily Burlesque. Another blog that is fantastic that I love to go to is Bebe Bardeaux. She has some really great insights. She talks about burlesque and tips and tricks and producing and her perspective on things, and it's really refreshing to see her perspective a lot of the time. I find so much of what she writes and how she writes is just so validating for not only myself but people around me and what I've seen, and I think Bebe has such a wealth of knowledge to share, and I love reading her perspective and hearing where burlesque is going and where she's seen it. I think that's fantastic, and I think that's phenomenal. Another website, which is also a physical building, is the Burlesque Hall of Fame. I will go into the history and what the Burlesque Hall of Fame Museum and Weekender is in another video, but long story short for now, it is a museum and it is the first and I believe still the only burlesque museum that we have in the world. They have tons and tons of information and archives about burlesque history across the globe, and the Burlesque Hall of Fame Museum also has a website, and so if you go on that website you get to see a bunch of the archives and a bunch of the information that they have to share about different legends and burlesque history and venues that have been operating in different circuits. They also honor our legends, and every year they will have memorials for the legends who have passed and write-ups, and they will have things about legends who are doing things today and burlesque performers who are doing things today. They are continuing to update their archives to include both our past and again our present as it's happening. I'm a huge fan of the Burlesque Hall of Fame. I think the work that they do is incredibly important ever since the day it started. If you ever have a chance to check them out, I recommend that you go online, check them out, learn a little bit about what they do, and who knows, maybe one day you can visit the museum in Las Vegas or go to the Burlesque Hall of Fame weekender. And moving away from websites and into this domain of YouTube, there's a couple of YouTube creators who are also fantastic, and they've been doing a banging job of keeping up and still being able to educate individuals online in a time that there has been a lot of disconnect. So after you subscribe and follow me, make sure to go check them out and then subscribe and follow them. The first person I'm going to shout out is Vera Valentinaa. She does everything burlesque in her YouTube videos. Vera Valentinaa shares fantastic, basic, easy to follow tutorials on things like dance moves and burlesque moves and costuming, and she also shares her perspective and behind the scenes, big things to keep up with in burlesque, in the news or social media. She just has so much information and she has tons of videos. I highly recommend you go check her out if you can, and because she just has so much that she has shared and she's continuing to share. She is a huge inspiration as to why I made my channel and some of the things that I want to do with my channel. Vera, if you're watching this, I just want to say a huge thank you. I'm a huge fan. Otherwise, moving on. And then the last resource I'm going to share today is by a phenomenal costume designer in Seattle. Her name is Stratton. Her YouTube is all about costuming and sewing, whether it's dramatic costumes with like that defy gravity, or even just how to make clothes and how to make a blouse or a shirt or a skirt. Stratton is fantastic. She again has a wealth of knowledge, especially around costumes and design. So if you're just wondering how to make things like a boa, or if you want to make a headpiece, costumes all together, she has some phenomenal techniques that she has to share. I highly recommend that you follow her. That's it for today. Today I focused on blogs and YouTube, and I do have more videos coming out about resources in the next few months, but I really hope that this is going to be a great starting point for you, for some free resources at least. And if you have any questions or comments or resources, I would love to see them down below. Feel free to leave them all in the comment section. Let's just share some knowledge. Let's share some of the people that we know and resources that we know that are great for online for people to learn. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.